A very big welcome. If you have any blocks, please grab them. And then straight away we'll come and lie down with a block. So all the way onto our backs and just pop the block in between the knees. And then widen the feet a little bit so the knees can tumble in together like a tent. And just bring your hands both onto the abdomen, onto the lower belly in particular, as we start to begin to breathe into the belly. So for today's practice, it's a real refresh type of practice. That's what I would name it as well. As we will be doing all kinds of spinal movement. There'll be a fair bit of twisting and strengthening. Some back bends, some side bends, and so hopefully it will leave you nice and refreshed by the end of it. So just as always, that minute of stillness here to connect. Just pausing any big, loud thoughts that float around. Connecting to the breath, so let the belly rise and fall with every breath that you take. And lastly, just softening through some muscles that might still hold a bit of tension just from simply living your days. Close down the eyes as thoughts then become just a little less loud. Taking that time to focus inward. Towards the last 4 breaths here. Make sure that the hands really rise and fall with the belly every breath that we take. But also now start to squeeze a little bit more intently into the block that we have in between the knees. So just start to squeeze those knees into the block a little bit more already. So we feel those inner thighs and glutes and thighs and the lower, deeper transverse abdomen just slowly just spark onwards, just awaken. Breath as well flows in and out through the nose, and for my more seasoned yogis, maybe Ujjayi breath, that whisper sound through the back of the throat, lengthening, deepening, creating some fire within. And if your eyes are closed, gently begin to open them. Keep your head down and just start to rock the pelvis slightly forward so the lower back starts to hug into the mat. And with those lower vertebrae, see if you can touch all of your lower back into the mat. So for some of us that's not quite possible, but that's kind of what you want to work towards. From here on out, we bring those 2 legs up, and so we squeeze still into that block that's right in between the knees. And then again, work on flattening the lower back into the floor. And maybe again, the hands are still onto the belly, so you feel that connection drawing down. You feel that hardening up through the abdomen as well. Lovely, guys. We'll start here by taking some heel taps. So bring those heels down and then bring the legs back up. You keep squeezing into that block and you keep that bend through the knees here. So slowly down and bring it up. Really take your own time, reset anytime you need to flatten the lower back down into the mat again. I want to start that real big fire into the abdomen. Let's take about 5 more as we tap the heels down and bring it up, squeezing the abs down, and up. Use that breath, 3 more. back down, 2, and 1. Nice and fiery start. Bring those heels down with the feet. Squeeze into that block, arms come beside you, lift up into a bridge pose. So ripple nice and slow off the floor. Lift as high as you can. Don't let those ribs float, so bring the belly in and the ribs in. And let the arms rest. Really squeeze those knees into the block so the inner thighs will start to assist the glutes here. Lift a little bit higher if you can. And then very slowly come all the way to roll down. And again, we bring those legs immediately back up. Legs in tabletop. This time around, interlace those fingers and look towards your block as you come up to an ab curl. There we go again. We tap those heels down and we bring it up. Are we still squeezing into that block? We bring it down and up. We're still breathing. Lower back aims to flatten to the floor. Every time you bring it down, especially think lower back down. Good. Again, 5 more. Tap and lift. Maybe you can lift higher through the shoulders. Tap and lift. I'm starting to feel that fire. I hope you're with me there for 3 more. 2. Last 1. Good. Bring those heels back down, nice and close towards the glutes. Head down, arms beside you. Come back slowly to that bridge pose. Nice little movement into the lower back. Incredible to take this back bend. Opening through our heart, lifting and squeezing as we lift. Squeeze into the block for the inner thighs. 1 more inhale here. Little pulses for 6 and 5. Lift up for 4 and 3. All the muscles switching on. 2 and 1. Slowly lower yourself down. And then grab that block and pop it forward onto the floor. Straight away the next one. Legs come up to the ceiling. Good. From here on out, lifting up into an ab curl. So we're lifting again. Interlace those fingers behind your head is a really nice thing to do. Squeeze the lower back into the mat. And then lower the right leg down. It's lowering down to a hover, so it's not touching the floor, unfortunately. Now cross that right leg over to the left side. So that means our legs are now crossed. I'm squeezing my inner thighs together. Now my right hand goes on the outside of my left leg for some oblique crunches. 10 in total. Let's go for 10. And 9. 8. 7. Still squeezing, crossing those inner thighs. 4. 3, lower back still down. 2 and 1. Interlace the fingers, legs come up, flatten that lower back, big breath in. Lower the left leg down. We're so nearly there, I promise. And that left leg over to the right side. Cross those legs here. You see almost sort of like an X. And then reach that left hand over to the right side and crunch there for 10. 9. 8, I know. 7, still yoga, yes. 5 and 4. 3, squeeze. 2, feel that nice little fire. 1, 2, legs lift and give yourself a little cuddle. Hug those knees into your chest. Big breath in here. And a big breath out. Grabbing underneath your knees, start to rock forward and backwards. Nice little boat pose to lift through the legs, work those lower abs. Nice little boat pose to a lift. 1 more. Nice little boat pose to a lift. And then you come all the way up and over into a tabletop. So those hands come right underneath the shoulders. Curl the toes and have a long spine. Your knees are right underneath your hips here. Good. From here on out, we'll curl the toes and lift the knees and just hover them a little bit off the floor. Squeeze through the belly and push around through the back muscles. We'll need that for some poses later. And just see if you can windscreen wipe those knees from side to side. Work those obliques again. 1 more to each side. And then all the way up and back, downward facing dog. This should all of a sudden feel delightful. So just be here for a moment. And then drop the right heel down. Stay for a full breath in. Right heel grounding, lift the sit bones, exhale to stay. And then that left heel grounds down. Big breath in. Big breath out. Lift those sit bones nice and high again. And then two heels kind of medium squeeze down. They don't have to touch down all the way. Lift those sit bones again. And bend your knees maybe ever so gently to find more length. One breath in. One breath out. And starting to take these teeny tiny little steps all the way as we move to the front of the mat. Really see how far you can walk. Shoulders over the wrists. Once you can't walk any further, inhale, take a halfway lift, press the hands into the shins. And exhale, fingertips to the floor, bend your knees, touch your forehead on the knees. Two more. Inhale, halfway lift, long spine, flatten. Even the back muscles and shoulder scapula come together. Exhale, fold. Inhale again, lengthen. Exhale, fold. And then curl up to stand with everything so heavy. Your head is heavy, your arms are heavy. Just ripple up, articulate the spine. Once you're all the way up, hug those shoulders down and back. We stand nice and tall, Tadasana or mountain pose. We're ready to flow, so let's go. Inhale, reach those arms up to the ceiling. Big breath in, then exhale, release. Forward fold, forehead again towards the knees. Take a halfway lift, inhale, flatten the back again. And then exhale, step back into a high plank. First round, let's lower those knees, take a deep breath in. And then exhale, brush the elbows and the arms past the ribs as you come to lower down. Chaturanga, high to low push-up. Inhale, little cobra. So this is a little back bend. There's no weight in the hands. I'm squeezing my elbows into the ribs. Toenails are down. And then downward facing dog. Come back. One breath in. One breath out. And the right leg steps all the way forward and the left leg follows. Inhale, flat back, big toes together. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach and rise, stand so tall. Empty as you fold. Halfway lift, inhale, sort of dance the movement like we're working through mud or honey to make it sweeter. Lower the knees if you like, otherwise coming to shoot forward and elbows brush the ribs again as we lower down. Into that little back bend cobra, long spine here, working the lower back muscles. Exhale, downward facing dog. Again, a big breath in. And a big breath out. Left leg steps forward, and then the right foot two. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, empty and fold. Halfway lift, really finish the movements to their fullest expression. Exhale, step back, high plank. Lower the knees or shift forward and exhale, lower down slowly. Cobra pose. Inhale, shoulders down and back. Then downwards facing dog. Exhale. Stay for the in-breath. And the out-breath. And then walk your big toes together to touching your down dog. Lift your heels so high, your sit bones high. And inhale from this point, lift the right leg up. And then exhale, gently step it all the way forward in between the hands. Try not to make a sound. Back knee lowers down, and then inhale takes us up to a low lunge. We want to stay quite high today, please, into this lunge. So aiming not to do this and pushing forward, but instead lengthening through those lower backs here. Good, so you should feel that stretch through the left psoas and the left thigh here, left side. So the ribs come in, tailbone tucks, arms are up. From this height here, interlace the fingers behind you like we did for our ab work right in the beginning. Lift your heart up like someone's lifting you from the lower ribs here. And then inhale, lift, 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 and kind of let your head fall back into the hammock, which is now your hands. So you should feel that shoulder opening here. Try not to collapse into the lower back. Think lengthen hard up. One more round of breath. And then slowly coming all the way back with the hands down to the floor. Inhale, take your high plank. And exhale, chaturanga. Officially, this is chaturanga, halfway point. If you're doing up dog, come straight into up dog. Thighs, knees lift off the floor. And then come back, downward facing dog. Of course, you can always do your cobras. Bring your big toes together to touch. Lift your heels high, sit bones high. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step it forward quietly. Back knee lowers down. Core is on when we rise. Same thing here. Lengthen, maybe even bring a hand to the lower tailbone and to the kind of lower ribs, and bring those areas together like we're ironing it together. Once you feel that length and that tucking of the tailbone can really kind of open the left front, the right front thigh and hip flexor, and then interlace those fingers again behind you. Hard up, push the elbows kind of out of sight as we look up, and let your head relax, but your arms are supportive. Your ribs are lifting up, and you should not feel a single thing into the lower back. One more round of breath. Think again, a hook into your chest, and you're like a little plant. You're being hung up on the ceiling through the chest. So that lifting. Good. Inhale, arms up, and hands come down. Coming back, high plank. Inhale, shimmy forward and lower. Exhale, chaturanga. To up dog or your cobra. To your downward facing dog. 3 breaths. That was a nice little warm up. So seek some more length into the spine. Those ribs in, sit bones higher. Push the floor away. Just taking a moment to find our breath to settle back down. Inhale, then look forward. You might take that step or little steps or a little hop to the top of the mat. You take a halfway lift. Once you're there, widen the feet hip width apart as you exhale, forward fold. So there's that space between the both feet now. Touch the floor with your fingertips. Shimmy your bottom backwards and rise. Inhale, we're in chair pose. And so I want the toes to be quite light. You are supported by the balls of the feet and the heels, but not the toes. Good, and inhale is where we stay. And exhale, bring the hands together and twist to the right side. It's just that touching, elbow to thigh. Inhale, arms up, movement and breath. Exhale, left side. Inhale, up to the right. At your own pace, continue. But stay low through those legs. Get that fire burning. Keep that movement. Squeeze through those glutes, guys. Let's do one more to each side. Scoop and lift through those lower abdomen. That's why we warm them up so nicely at the beginning. And then inhale, rise. Should feel so good. Reach those hands up and a little bit over and back. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, step back, high plank. And again, if you're getting out of breath, if you're a bit newer or you're just feeling like you're collapsing, go to the knees. Build that strength to lower down. Cobra or up up dog. I actually like Cobra mostly better because it's just nicer for the lower back, especially if there's tightness or tension there. Downward facing dog. Big breath in and a big breath out. Big toes come together to touch. We lift the heels, inhale, right leg lifts, and then right knee to the left elbow, so we're crossing, touch, come all the way forward. Inhale, lift it back, exhale, touch. One more, inhale, shoot it back, exhale, touch it to the left elbow. Now see if you can extend that right leg to the left side of your mat. Good. And then bring the back foot flat, so spin the heel inwards. Option one is a side plank variation, so you stay really quite lifted through the hips, but there's no back bend. Any back issues, please do this. Otherwise, maybe reach up and over for your fallen triangle. Stay for 3. Open the heart to the side body for 2. Last breath. Bring that left hand down, the right leg back and behind the left leg. So you're stepping again towards the left side of the mat with the right foot. Now your heel is lifted, side plank variation, or your wild thing where we lift and open up again. Hard lifts, look back, hips go up, heel is lifted. Stay for 3 now, so softness through the elbow. Work the back muscles 2. And 1. Slowly come all the way back, downward facing dog. Big breath in and a big breath out. Shift forward, high plank, maybe to the knees, lower down, low plank. Inhale, find the back bend. And at these times, downward dog, there might be not that immediate feeling of like, oh yeah, refresh. And it's usually when we come out of it, or sometimes just like an hour after it. Bring those big toes together to touch. Lift those heels, but you will feel refreshed, I promise. Lift those heels, left leg up, inhale. Left knee to your right elbow, touch. 2 more, inhale up, we're working oblique strength again. Exhale, twist. 1 more, inhale, lift. Smile as you do it, exhale, it can help, and twist. And then that left foot to the right side. Move some stuff, is there tough? Back foot flat. Feel free to just stay here, you might even look to the floor, your side plank variation. Otherwise, reaching up and over for your fallen triangle. And think about the heart going up, spinning over, lifting those hips. 3, 2, never stop breathing. And 1, right hand down, left knee under and over. Step it behind you, lift that heel, and either stay side or lift the hips up. Spiral the chest open for wild thing. So there's different options, right? And rather than choosing the harder one or kind of getting into this pretzel, pick the thing which is accessible to you. Every day is different. Coming all the way back, downward facing dog. Big breath in, big breath out. Shift forward, high plank. Lower down, exhale. Into your little back bend, inhale. Back to downward facing dog, exhale. Breathe in. Breathe out. And then bring those feet together, lift those heels, right leg to lift, inhale. And then exhale, step it all the way forward. We come up into a high lunge. There we go. We're there. Find your balance. Here here too, bend a little into the back knee, tuck that tailbone, lengthen through the spine. So after all that twisting and strengthening, can you find some lift and some length, in particular from the lower back? We stay for one more breath in, really finding those base muscles to engage, those glutes are working. Exhale, open up, warrior two. So we find a nice little hip opening here. Take an inhale to reverse your warrior two. Big breath in, straight away into a side angle. Right elbow to right thigh. And left hand reaches up to start. Few things to think about here is to not sit into that right shoulder. So push your right ear away from the right shoulder. And then slowly that top hand to your left hand, see if you can bring that behind your head and then spiral the left elbow up for today. So you're letting your head fall into the hand again, like we did with our core work. With that, can you sit a little lower through the right knee, push the knee towards the baby toe side, and just breathe as we find length and space. One more full round of breath. Coming all the way to stand up, warrior two. Straighten through the front leg, maybe a little hop in as we come into Tripanasana. So reach that right hand long forward and bring the right hand to the right shin, the left hand up. You might use a block here if you like. Always really nice to do as well. Push that right hip forward, left hip back, and soften through that right knee. Whatever you do, do not collapse down again. Find the obliques to switch on. We've well and truly warmed them up. They should be ready for this. And again, grab the back of your head with your left hand. Pull and extend and open as much as you can. But then draw those shoulders away from the neck and the ears. One more full round of breath. Feel those left side obliques switch on. Coming all the way up. Good. Stepping all the way back. Downward facing dog. Nice, beautiful cartwheel is nice to do. Once you're in down dog, inhale, we stay. And exhale, stay again. Bring the big toes together. Inhale, shimmy forward, high plank. And exhale, chaturanga. Cobra or up dog. Inhale. Squeeze the elbows in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay. Big toes together to touch. Lift those heels. Lift the left leg. Inhale. And exhale, step it forward. Quietly. Good. If you were working with your blocks, it's nice to grab it now. Rise already. High lunge. So relax the shoulders. Bend a little through the back knee. Tuck the tailbone forward. Feel that stretch. And then zip up through those lower arms as we sit here into this deep, deep glute work. And we'll do this again later, and you need this strength that we've built. Stay for another full round of breath. And inhale to stay. And then exhale to open up to warrior two. Now look down and see your big toe. If you can't see it, push that knee more towards the baby toe side. Straight away, we reverse, inhale. And then exhale, left elbow to the left thigh. Right hand up to start. Sit into the legs, but push the knee outwards. Open through the hips. Push away from the shoulder. So we're long and spacious everywhere. And then that right hand grabs the back of your head and open, lengthen, twist the collarbones up to the ceiling. Can you still sit low? 2 more breaths. Thinking constantly long neck, chest up, knee straight forward. Coming all the way back. Straightening through the front leg. A little hop forward if you like for Tripanasana. Inhale, we lengthen forward. Left hand down, right hand up. Maybe that block. If you did that on the other side. left hip forward, so you could fit through these two kind of panes of glass right beside you. You're making yourself really long. Soften through that left knee. Right hand, grab your head again and open and lengthen as much as you can. 3. Should be getting warm now, last 2. Belly in, feel the right obliques. Last 1. Inhale, come all the way up. And exhale, cartwheel all the way down to downward facing dog. Inhale, we stay. Exhale, we stay. And you can stay, of course, otherwise inhale, high plank. And exhale, lower. Cobra, inhale. Up dog, of course, possible. To downward facing dog. Exhale. Inhale again. Exhale. Good. Inhale, look forward, and exhale, step or jump to the top of the mat. Flat back, breathe in. Exhale, fold. So we build a little bit of heat here, hopefully. Just take a moment to just let your head be heavy and your shoulders too. Take a big sigh. Big toes out together to touch, hands beside the feet. Bend your hips nice and low. There we go. We're back in chair. Good. Sitting nice and low. Big breath in. Bring those hands together from center of chest. And then exhale, twist to the right side. Stay. So take a moment here to find your bestest twist. Lift your chest. Squeeze those knees together. And then look to the floor for better balance. Good. Lift your left heel up. And then see if you can lift your left foot up. Squeeze as you hold. And then stepping all the way back. Twisted crescent lunge. And that's what we'll go to, I should say. We're going crescent lunge first. Now bend through the back knee again, so keep the back knee bent. Most of the time I'm asking you to straighten it, but now bend it. So again, we have that length through the lower back. Inhale, we stay. Exhale, twist to the right side. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, twist to the right side. At your own pace. Now keep bending through the back knee, so we're working the lower back, the lower body muscles. Again, just a little bit harder. Taking just about 3 more. See if you can work a little bit more your torso rather than just your arms. Last one. And then slowly bring those arms up. Come forward into an arrowhead. So now your back leg is super straight. Lift the back heel a little higher and see if you can come all the way up to stork pose. Lift the left knee up. Standing strong and tall through the right leg. Okay, from here, eagle legs. Bend through the right knee. Left thigh crosses over. Sit down and down. Squeeze those thighs together. Once you're there, inhale, lengthen. Guess what? Another twist. Twisting to the left side. Right elbow to the outside of the thigh. Breathe and twist for 3. 4, 2, and 1. Come back. Lift a little, and then bring your left shin down. And then your right one too. Grab those blocks and pop them right beside your shins. So, just a breath in and a big breath out. Whew. Low Lasana. Pretty big shape, and that's why we have blocks. So, hurrah. So we bring the hands, I would go medium height of the block, because the lower will be harder. And the high one is just a little bit too unsteady. So I want you to really kind of roll the shoulders down and back, and then scoop the the tailbone almost in, like you're being punched into the stomach. So we're bracing our belly here. So let's do that. Round, squeeze, lift your knees. See if you can lift your toes. And then slowly come down. That was fun, wasn't it? Wasn't it just? One more time. Lift your knees. And really don't forget to scoop around. And maybe lift your toes. Maybe one and then the other, right? So we do what we can. Good. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Pop those blocks to the side. Come back to downward facing dog. And if you feel like around the flow, now is a great time to wash that out. So that's your round the flow. Plank to lower. To your back bend, no rush. To your dog. Downward dog is obviously our meeting point. And then when you're ready, inhale, look forward, a step or a hop all the way forward. Lengthening the spine, breath in. Exhale, folds, and again, bend your knees. Just let yourself be heavy for a while. Head heavy, shoulders heavy, maybe a big sigh. Big toes together to touch. Hands beside you, chair pose. Weight in the heels, hands together from center of chest, inhale, lengthen, and we twist to the left side. Right elbow touches. There you go. We are there. Find your focus, look down. Lift your right heel. Bring your knees to squeeze together. Lift your right foot. Flamingo. Breathe and hold. And then gently stepping back. Coming up, first of all, to your crescent lunge. Inhale, bend your back knee a little bit, keep it bent. Exhale, twist to the left side. Inhale, come up, squeeze those glutes. Exhale, left side. At your own time, bending through both knees, stay low. Get juicy and sort of spicy in through those legs. And twist about 3 more. Relax the left toes as much as you can. Work the torso in rotation more than just the arms. Last one. Coming up to your crescent lunge. Now straighten the back leg, arrowhead. So we're long line from the heel to the hips to the shoulders. Rise when you're ready up to stall pose. Right leg lifts. When you're ready, from all this length into our eagle legs, right thigh simply crosses over the left, sitting down and down and down. Find that still spot to focus on. Inhale, we lengthen the spine. Exhale, we twist to the right side. Hey, and some days your balance is wonderful, and some days it's not. And some days it's a mix of both. But why get frustrated? Why not just take a big sigh, smile, and get back into it? For 3. For 2. Long nap. And 1. Rise a little, come out a little, right shin down. Whew, left shin down. Grab those blocks. Right beside your shins. We're so nearly there. Okay, there we go again. Those blocks nice and close next to the shins. Roll the shoulders down and back. Tuck the tailbone. This time around, lifting the knees. Move the knees side to side, forward. Maybe lift one foot, maybe lift another foot. Slowly come down. So we've done some low lasana work. You might repeat that. Very nice. Otherwise, we'll slowly come to interlace the fingers behind your head and touch the top of the head down to the floor. You might stay at any spot, yeah? You might take your low lasana. You might work with me toward headstand. Slowly, and only if you're quite seasoned in your practice, please. So don't kind of do crazy things upside down. So otherwise, just take your low lasana. Beautiful way to get stronger. Otherwise, it's the flat bit to the floor. Step back into a plank and drag your feet in. Maybe one knee up like we did with Lolasana, and the other one up. And then slowly come down. Take a breath and roll the shoulders down and back. You do that again, maybe that again with Lolasana, maybe you just don't do anything, and that's okay too. Otherwise, last time, interlace the fingers behind you, flat bit of your head down, elbows are shoulder width, step it back, come in through lower core work, one knee in, maybe another knee in, maybe hold. So this is kind of how far I want to take you guys, just because I can't really help you guys and assist you guys to go up fully for your headstand. But that is where you go when you do want to pop your legs all the way up into the air. So just right now, let yourself rest after you've done some practice. And if I've got some more seasoned Pilates people, or sorry, Pilates yogis at home, then you might be taking your time to be in your headstand right now. Take about 5 more breaths here. So close down the eyes. Yeah, you might have any kind of energy left into the tank, and you might not. So really take some big breaths. Slowly come all the way up, back to downward facing dog. You breathe in, you sigh it out. Big toes together to touch, lift your heels. Inhale, lift your right leg. And then right knee to the right side of your mat, half pigeon. Left leg extends back, square of your hips, use maybe your blocks if you have them, and again, your shin never has to be parallel, right? Get it where you can without hurting your knee, or otherwise come to figure 4 as well, also nice. And for today, either, again, as high as you need to be, blocks, fists, or if you're feeling really flexible through the hips, you might come to rest all the way down and forward. So the shoulders get a little bit more relaxation as well when you look to the right. Of course, if this tumbles into one of the 2 sit bones, or if it feels too intense in either the hips or the knees, then I want you to come back and find some height with your blocks or with your hands, or just staying all the way up. Because ultimately, I want you to be here more kind of in a soothing, relaxing way than tension and tightness. This is the more yin part of our yoga, where we unmanage the breath, where we untie tightness, where we soften and surrender and digest the things that might have come up. Last minute here, really see if you can re-square the hips and then soften the shoulders a little bit more. Bringing the big toes together, lift the heels, lift the left leg, inhale. Half pigeon, left knee to the left side of the mat, so on the outside line of my body. Do what we did on the other side, so please even it out. Inhale, we lengthen, and then exhale, come to rest down, whether that was with the arms beside you, but don't fall or collapse, because then it's just not quite worth it. So get yourself as deeply relaxed as possible with the right alignment. We have 2 minutes here again. If you're quite new to yoga, I will promise you will come to love this shape unless it hurts your knees. Then that's just one of those things that we can't quite change, and it's just better to modify them. Also, if you're quite new to yoga and you're thinking headstands, what? Then I don't teach actually a whole lot of inversions, and so it's just sometimes to offer something to the more progressive people, and sometimes just to have a simple little play. But there's always different levels, different progressions you can take with me, and not necessarily easier to stay in the first option I give. There's just plenty of options to find strength in. And so with that, always work around kindness and gratitude rather than expectations, opinions, attachment. We have our last minute here. See if you can soften again just that little bit more. And then we take those last 3 breaths out. Once you have done that, slowly come onto the hands and just kind of flip yourself around. Make sure you have a block nearby and come to lie down. We pop the block just underneath your sit bones, 1 or maybe 2. Make sure it's going underneath the flat bit, so the glutes and the sacrum, not the lower back, as we lengthen the legs forward. Not great for everyone, so if this hurts your lower back, just bend your knees. You have a supported bridge right there. Otherwise, we're lengthening again through the front of the psoas and into our belly and all these wonderful organs that work so hard for us. So hands back to the belly like we did right at the beginning. And then take that deep breath again. Let your belly rise and fall with every breath that we take. You might take some sighs out of the mouth. If that helps you relax, but also can help you kind of just release things that get so stuck and stale, bloatedness as well. Hard work is done. Unless you find it hard to be still, and the hard work starts now. Begin to lift a little through the corners of your mouth and the corners of the eyes. Soften your face. Eyes are closed. Taking 3 more balloon-like breaths into the belly. out of the mouth. And bend your knees to pop those blocks to the side. Hips come down slowly, give yourself a little cuddle. Stretch out long now, legs come forward. Interlace the fingers overhead after all that movement through the spine. A moment of rest, take one more big breath in. And then exhale, shoulders come down, arms come to rest beside you, hand palms facing up. Take any kind of movements that make you feel more comfortable. Wiggle through the jaw. Another sigh. And then finding absolute stillness exactly right there in Savasana. Trying again to just eliminate any thoughts that creep back in. Trying to avoid movement altogether. We'll stay here for at least 10 breaths, but if you know you have a bit more time, maybe pick another number, a number that's in your mind. What you'll do is you breathe in, that's 1. You breathe out, that's 1. Your next breath is 2, and so onwards and upwards. If you lose the count, don't be harsh, but just start over. So you want to reach that point of pure focus and awareness of the breath and count. And when you reach your number, that is where you slowly come back into your day, into your week, into yourself. I'll leave you here so it's absolutely quiet in your space. I welcome any feedback, so always feel free to reach out. Namaste, my yogis, and begin the count of your breath now.